I'd like to show you this block. It's in our second book. It goes with an Easter quilt, but it's great for any child's quilt. It comes with a chickie as well. It's a little pocket, little Easter bunny. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, we begin by making all of our dimensional pieces by taking a Xerox copy of our pattern and put it on top of 2 pieces of fabric right side together and thin polyester bonded batting. Now this is one of the bodies and it's sewn all the way around. So after I sew, I'm going to cut on the dashed line, take the paper out, and I'm going to slit 1 layer of fabric and turn it right side out through that layer. And then I'll take some thread and needle and just close up that hole. Now on this particular piece, it's going to be part of the pocket for the bunny. So I put the opening down closer to the bottom edge here so that when it's opened it will be way down there. All right, now all my other pieces are made. Some of them have a little extra batting added to them. Some of them were stacked without any batting, like the lining. All right, now I take a piece of fabric. The dimensions are in the pattern. I've marked it where I'm going to place my lining. And I'm going to place it this way, the open end, along the measurement, and sew a 1/4 inch seam in zigzag. And then this will fold down, and we will show you the next step. Okay, so this was folded back down. The hands are tucked underneath that lining, and then I'm just machine stitched it down. Extra stuffing was added to the little paws. Now, the feet are put on top of the body, and this was also sewn all the way around a 1 layer slit, and I slit it at one end so that when I put this on the body, that slit is underneath where I'm going to sew. And I cut the pattern out for the little paw print here and then just machine sew around. I didn't mark it or anything, I just sewed around the paper. And I do that before I put the pocket on. And then that's just going to go right over that lining, and then I'm going to blind stitch around the outside here, leaving the opening for the pocket. Now the little head, same thing, was slit from behind so you get the whole shape of the head. Same thing with the snout, sewn down the middle. And then the nose is just a circle that's, you just sew around, gather around, stuff it, pull it, and then you blind stitch. So when you blind stitch that down, let the nose crown around and then blind stitch in a little bit. Don't blind stitch it right on the edge. It has to crown around. Then the ears were also whip stitched to the back. And then that little head goes on top like this. And then I'm going to blind stitch around the top of the head, leaving this part open so that it will be a pocket. And he just turns out darling. Okay, here's our chickie. We've done the very same thing with the lining. And we're putting this little chickie feet on, and that's just outline stitch, and it's pretty simple. Just I've got 3 strands of embroidery floss here, and you're just going to butt the stitches up next to each other. Just go, stitch by stitch. Here I move ahead a little bit. Okay, and so I'm going to make the little claw feet. Then I've taken the wings and I've gathered them at the opening, and I'm going to do the same thing as far as put them under the lining and then sew all the way around, enclosing the raw edges of the wings. Then his body was done the same as the bunny, so that will go on top of this and blind stitch. Now I added a little batting, you don't have to do that. The head is much simpler than the bunny. It's just got a little beak that I'm going to whip stitch on the back, and then add seed beads for the eyes. And then here I'll come around here to keep the pocket open, and then blind stitch around the top of the head. And that's our cute little chickie. And here's our bunny all done. I hope you enjoy this quilt. It has Easter eggs with it as well. They're pretty simple to do. And look at our website, www.thimble-art.com, for more.